mature reproductive organs of plants. There are many, many different kinds, and they all carry seeds in them somehow. Plants that have edible fruits rely on animals to carry their seeds to remote locations, while others spread their seeds by wind, water, or clinging to animals' fur. At the supermarket, you will find plenty of different fruits, but there are some fruits that you probably don't think of as fruits, even though they are, at least in botanical terms. On a basic level, a fruit is made up of two parts, the seed and the pericarp. The seed is composed of the embryo, the endosperm, and the seed coat. The outside part of the fruit is made up of the exocarp, sometimes in the form of a rind or skin, the mesocarp, frequently the part that is eaten, and the endocarp, which covers the seed. One type of fruit is the drupe, characterized by a usually thin outer skin, the exocarp, a fleshy mesocarp, and a hard bony endocarp. Cherries are an example of a delicious drupe, as well as the other members of the Prunus genus, peaches, plums, and almonds. Other familiar examples of drupes are mangoes, olives, and coconuts. Capsules are fruits that develop with multiple carpels, and when the fruit is mature, the capsule splits apart or dehisces to release the seeds. Brazil nuts are probably the most familiar example of capsules, though you can also find them on members of the orchid, willow, and lily families. Nut is a word that we use often, but don't typically consider a nut to be a fruit. Like many conflict between culinary and botanical terms, some nuts are not true nuts, like peanuts, almonds, cashews, and the aforementioned Brazil nuts. True nuts typically have one seed, and the ovary wall fuses with the seed and becomes very hard. Examples of botanical nuts are chestnuts, acorns, and beech nuts. The fruits of maple trees are a type of achene that is unique because it has a wing-like structure that enables it to float through the air like a helicopter. Achenes are fruits that have one seed and appear to be a seed themselves because the wall of the seed vessel encloses the seed so closely it resembles an outer seed coat. Caryopsis is the name given to fruits most often described in layman's terms as grains. Caryopses are very similar to achenes, except the pericarp is actually fused to the seed coat, whereas achenes do not experience this fusing. Examples of caryopses include rice, wheat, and corn. Some of our favorite fruits are berries, but most people would be surprised to learn which ones are actually berries. A true berry fruit is made up of a single ovary, but can have many seeds embedded in the flesh of the fruit. Examples of true berries include tomatoes, grapes, and watermelons. Cucurbits typically produce pepo fruits, a special kind of berry, such as pumpkins, cucumbers, and squashes. Another special type of berry is the Hesperidium, which includes oranges, lemons, limes, and grapefruits. Fruits mistaken for true berries include strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Our final fruit type is the pome, derived from the Latin word for fruit, pomum. Speakers of French will recognize the closeness to the French word for apple, pomme, which is a prime example of a pome. Pomes are characterized by their multiple carpels, almost always 5, surrounded by a fleshy mesocarp and a continuation of this flesh, which is an accessory part of the flower, not actually part of the reproductive organs. Other classic examples are pears and quinces. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on fruits, and hope you are now more aware of the scientific definition of fruit and some of the terms used to describe it.